Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear.
Ooh.
Long story.
That's the thing that always has bothered me about like corporate comedy and like TV, especially in Canada. It's like, oh, no, you can't be saying that kind of stuff. But like you go and do a dirty show at that same festival and people like are losing it. They love it.
Like, well, that's naughty.
Everybody likes dirty jokes.
This is the first podcast we've done in, what, a year?
Yeah, I think a year. I think it's been about a year. It's been 200.
I don't even remember what's happened since the last time we did a podcast.
Oh, my God.
Is the Queen alive?
The Queen is alive.
She didn't die yet?
No, she was not in a school in America.
Why
so
don't
she's still alive.
We'll do this podcast and then we don't do another one until the Queen's dead.
You know what would be so funny?
Dead at my house.
It'd be so
the
funny.
Viewings at my house.
It would be so funny if she was just like, yeah, let's just skip over Charles and go straight to William. And Charles would lose his fucking mind. It'd be funny.
When I die, I want you to promise me that you'll have like my funeral and my viewing at like a low-income housing unit, like the lobby of a shitty hostel or something.
Sure.
Just a horrible place nobody wants to be, and I'm just out there.
Whatever you want.
Frozen.
Who do you think will die first, you or me?
Me.
Why you?
Definitely me.
You think you're better than me?
You think you're gonna fucking finish life first? I finished first in life. I mean, I finished life first. I went into death. That's the thing. Because I think Jim and I were talking about that. Like I would believe in a more realistic version of heaven where like you die there too.
Oh, so you have to go to heaven and then live another life and
like
die?
You're old and your liver's failing, and then you die, and then you go to heaven and you still have to do dialysis.
Oh my God! No, if heaven is real,
You still have to drive on a cloud for an hour and a half to get to the hospital and
then I'd want to die at this age. Then I want to die tomorrow because I don't want to be.
No,
old
because
in
life
heaven.
is precious, right? So you get to heaven and you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I don't want to. This is heaven, and they're like, yeah, basically it's just an extra 50 years ish.
I know we've talked about what ideal heaven is.
I thought heaven was forever. No.
I feel like heaven, if it's real, if heaven is real, you get to be your ideal age, like the age that you were the happiest at. That's what you get to be.
What would you go back to? Would
I have
you be
no
a
idea.
kid or 18?
I don't know if I've ever been happy. No, I don't know.
Lock me in at 83. Nobody ever says that. Nobody's ever like, keep me here. Keep me in an 83-year-old wheelchair struggling to get around.
Yeah, like that sounds awful. Like if you die old, then you're old in heaven.
Of course you would be.
Oh.
Why would you? I don't know. I don't get this. What is your vision of a soul? When you think of a soul, what is it? Is it like a fucking electric blob?
I think it's just sparkles. It's just some sparkles.
Because how would I know who my dead relatives are? Like I'm rolling around. I'm a soul. I'm a weird blobby thing. I look like a comet.
I bet you when you are a soul, you can recognize the souls you know.
I guess you'd have to have your face on the front of your soul.
All the souls have a name tag.
Yeah. Sean Lacomber.
Hi, my name is Sean Lacomber.
Welcome to this punch party.
Hi, my name is Sean Lacomber's soul.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone's like, he had one?
He didn't. I thought he was soulless. What is happening in your life? Anything new and exciting happening?
I don't think so.
For episode 100 and whatever the fuck it is. Who cares?
I went to Ontario and did a tour, and it was fun. I did mushrooms. I thought we were being shot at because I'm way too hypersensitive about shootings because I was down there like right after the Buffalo shooting, before the school shooting, and we were walking. Like it was the day they had that gigantic storm. Did you hear about that? Like it was like tornadoes in the middle of Ottawa and stuff. But we were at Niagara Falls, and we were at the falls, and it just turned black. So we're like, okay, well, we should start walking up because we're going to get totally dumped on. And we're walking, and we get up to the top by the Falls View Casino, and just this, like, the loudest crack I've ever heard right above our heads. And I swear I thought we were being shot at, but it was just thunder, like literally right above us, which meant that there had to be a lightning strike close to us.
Yeah, another mass roof shooting takes out Kathleen McGee and her.
I like dove. No, I ran
How do
into
we
traffic.
make these roofs safe?
I'm so it's
less doors.
All these shootings have fucked me up because I accidentally saw the Buffalo one. Like I was scrolling through Twitter on that day. I'm like, what
Only
is
the
this?
mass ones. Only the mass ones fucked me up.
All of them do.
Nah, when it's just one person's dead from a shooting or whatever, I'm like, they probably had some kind of weird beef.
I guess.
So I can let a solo dead slide from a gun thing.
But yeah, the mass ones are so random.
The mass ones are like, what? How many?
That's what was so scary with the buffalo one. Is like, I didn't like, this girl's just walking along having a great day and she's gone immediately, like hit head down. And like, lucky for her, because honestly, she probably didn't even know what happened. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing. But holy fuck, just to think, every time I leave a store or walk into a store now, I'm like, I could be dead after leaving here. Like, it's so
I go now and I'm like, what's the price of this tomato? And then it's like, who cares? I could fucking.
Yeah.
It's probably good for grocery store sales because people are doing a lot less like
browsing.
Yeah,
they're
not
just
browsing.
in and out as fast as possible.
In we go, out we go.
Yeah, wearing bulletproof vests.
Yeah,
and people are like,
we
well, it's
go.
not gonna happen in Canada. I'm like, yes, it will. Do you think people don't have weird guns in Canada? Even we do have gun control, but it's not foolproof.
No, if you want to kill people, you can do it. But
Yeah,
I like the argument of like fewer doors or something like.
Fewer doors?
Because the Uvalde shooting, like, they were doing everything that Republican talking points have been for decades, which is like, you should have a school force, a school police force.
Yeah.
They were doing it. They had a school police force. They had 8 officers whose job was to keep.
And they all chickened out.
Yeah, they kind of, they kind of did, where you're like.
There were parents running into the school to grab their children.
Yeah.
They were like arresting. Apparently, one of the teachers that got killed called her husband and said she was shot and she needed help because like she's bleeding to death. Like, if they hadn't been in there for an hour, I bet you some of those people would have been saved, because I think some of them just bled to death because they were in there for a fucking hour.
Yeah, and it's weird because they came out kind of like, well, we lost a few people.
Yeah.
But you know, they're just like, how do we down? Yeah.
They kept trying to cover up everything.
But it's weird because if I was in charge, you know, it's like that guy who was in charge was a coward. And I'm like, well, if I was in charge, even if I was a coward, I'd be like, you guys go, go, go. You 2 go, go, go. You 3 go, go, go. You 9 go. And then once everybody was dead, I'd be like,
all right,
that didn't work.
This guy's a good shooter.
This guy's good.
This guy is good.
And then I would have stopped. And then I would have like shot myself in the shoulder and gone down.
Yeah.
I've been like, oh, we all got snabbed.
You have such a good way to be a coward. Like, you have like a really good.
As long as you're in charge, it's easy to be a coward when you're in charge because you're just the go, go, go guy.
Yeah.
You're the you guys end your own lives.
Well, it's funny because because there's so many, everyone has a camera, you can't lie about shit anymore. You can't make shit up because they were saying that, like a border cop ran in and killed him, but and they made it sound like, you know, it wasn't an hour after this guy walked into a school. And then they blamed the teacher for leaving the door open and it wasn't open. Like, They were making up all this shit, and it was kind of like crazy.
Yeah, keep all those doors closed in Texas when it's like plus fucking 400. Like, it's so insane. It's just completely insane, and nothing will happen. Like, nothing will happen. Like,
literally, like after Sandy Hook, when I've heard people say, like, if they don't do gun control after they murder 7-year-olds, then nothing is ever gonna happen, and it won't. It just won't.
No.
Like, there's people that are still like on like. Like Republican, like, oh, my guns, but they don't want to take your guns away. They just want to like stop the wrong people from getting them. And also, who needs a semi-automatic? Who needs one? Like, I get it. You think that it's my right. It's not. If you're gonna actually go off what the founding fathers, semi-automatic weapons didn't have it. You can have a musket. Enjoy your musket. You know, like, but they weren't thinking about machine guns when they're like, everyone has a right to have one, because that's like a literal war machine. Who needs a war machine? And the fact that it's so easy for an 18-year-old kid to get a war machine.
Yeah, and it was a good example of like, this is what happens when you have 19 guys that are like frozen solid in a hallway because an 18-year-old like just know the firepower of this thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, that I don't know.
He'll take my head off.
Yeah, this will be fucking. Well, you know, what's the point? You know, I guess you just sort of like, it's a weird call to make with. I could, you know, like I just can't imagine making that call to be like, probably everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Let's hang here until the janitor gets back from lunch.
Yeah.
And then, what? Why would you assume that? Like, I mean, oh my God, those fucking. And the crazy thing is they stayed in the same town. Like, I would have moved overnight. I would have been gone.
Yeah.
But I was like, Uvalde. That's all your job was.
Yeah.
Your job was to hang around in case something bad happened.
Yeah.
Their job prior to a mass shooting was nothing.
Yeah.
Like just playing pretend, having a badge, having a gun, walking around a junior high school, like nothing
with their power.
Nothing's happening. You maybe tell a kid in grade 8, "Hey, slow down. You can't run in here. Hey, what do you got your phone on in the foyer for?" That's it. That was your whole fucking job. You got to just do nothing and pretend to be a cop. And then the shit hits the fan. It's the one time in your career where you're being asked to earn the fucking money that the town has been giving you for years. Yeah. And you can't do it.
And where were all the people that were like, "Oh, if I had a gun, I would have run right in there and done it." Like, as long as there's guns around, you can stop another shooter. Well, it didn't work this time, you guys. It's just like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
It's gross.
And I love that Canada like made stronger, and then America's like, "Look at how Canada's getting all fucked up." Like, no.
No, we got less freedom.
Nobody's mad. I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
Like, I've shot a gun before. I went to a gun range once, and it is like a crazy feeling to shoot a gun, but it's also scary. And like holding a gun even is kind of like, this is like a murder weapon. Like, it's a very odd feeling. So people that like that feeling kind of creep me out.
And it makes me laugh too, because, you know, you'll hear the sort of conservative talking points being, we should arm teachers. And it's you mean the people you hate?
Yeah.
The conservatives hate teachers.
Yeah.
They hate them indoctrinating our kids into like, well, they're going to listen to that. They're going to watch a cartoon video on LGBTQs and then want to get all LGBTQs. It's gross. It's like, that's not how fucking sexuality works.
Yeah.
You're attracted to what you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Nothing changes it.
Yeah.
No video you watched in junior high was going to be like, maybe I should eat puss.
I mean, there was one. Okay.
There was a party. But junior high, like, you weren't going to learn anything that was going to be change. I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Well, and then like they're mad about drag queens having parties with kids now, because there's kids that do drag now. Because they're surprise, kids know that they're gay when they're kids. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not a surprise that this has become something, because drag has become so like accepted. Like, it's everywhere.
And also because there's nothing wrong with drag.
Exactly.
Right? It's like a guy dressing up as a girl dressing up as a guy. Who gives a shit?
So of course kids are going to start getting into it. And now there's
and what's wrong if they do, right? I mean, it's just crazy.
They are saying that drag queens are pedophiles and perverts. Yet then you go and you see like these people online dating 15-year-old girls. I didn't know she was 15. And like, it's all the Republicans that are pedophiles and perverts.
Oh, well, obviously you're on the wrong websites. You're on the wrong websites, lady.
No, it's crazy now. It's just nuts.
Well, and you just did a debaters taping.
So did you.
So you got to debate a person.
Yeah, it was fun. I really love doing the debaters because it's so much fun.
Yeah, the crowds are just, you're just like, oh, wow. Pumped. Yeah, it's nice when you're like, hey, nobody's here to see me, but that's okay.
No, they're just excited to be there. And it's like taping a game show. Like, everyone's really excited at the beginning, but then by the last few, they're kind of like, I'm tired. But they still were good the whole show in Saskatoon. But yeah,
and it's not competitive, but it is like, oh, I can bomb like bad.
Yeah.
Like, because there can be other, like, normally if I'm bombing, there's nobody doing good right beside me.
Yeah.
There's nobody next to me killing. It's like me bombing by myself. The crowd's not enjoying it. But the debaters, you can be like, blah, 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 no one laughs. And then that guy says, blah, 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 laugh. And then that guy says, blah, 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 laugh.
Yeah.
And then it comes back to you, blah, 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 no laugh. And then you're like,
I had a couple that only one person in the crowd laughed at. So I was always like, see, they get it. Like, I'll just be like, see, it's actually funny. You guys are all dumb, but that guy knows it. Yeah. But it was, it was good. And like, do you get like, when you get one, do you like, I don't feel like you're like one of those people that's like, we need to go over our scripts. I just like, I'm not like that. I like to just be kind of very like loose and like, especially the bare knuckle part. Like I'll plan a couple of stuff to start talking with, but I think it's like, you'll always get better jokes if it just is off the top of your head.
Yeah. Cause you're supposed to sort of, get together with the other person.
Yeah. I do that.
Well in advance. Yeah, I'll do it like the day of, maybe.
Yeah.
Just kind of like
people were writing their answers for everyone was writing Kelly's answers for his, like, he didn't even have him printed
I don't
out.
even know where I'm going here with it. Like, yeah, and then he goes out there and does extremely well.
Oh, he killed. It was so funny.
He'll always be like a legendary figure, old Kelly Tater.
Yeah, he just like
yeah.
I don't think he's
show
ever
up
bombed.
unprepared. Well, his bombing is like
us
my
killing.
doing pretty good.
Yeah.
His version of bombing is like 4 girls being ew once in a while. That's him bombing.
Yeah.
That is him really bombing.
And it's fun to like. I got to do 2, which was nice. I was very excited. They asked me to do 2 because I think like last time I did, I'm like, hey, if you want me to do 2, I can do it. Haha. And then they did. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if you want me to do 3, I can.
I could do them all.
I can do them all.
No, it's just like when they're easy to do. Like not like they're pretty easy to write.
Yeah. It's the only shows where I'm not like, oh yeah, I got to do that fucking.
Yeah. No, I like doing them a lot.
I got to go to that thing and do that. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At least these ones, it's like, well, you get to hang out with other comedians. You get to hang out with people.
It's like a mini festival. You get to see
and there's
your
not as much
friends.
pressure because it's like, mine didn't go so great, but everybody else's was good.
Yeah.
Like, well, hopefully I snuck in there.
I told them, I'm like, you guys should do like a competitive thing, like with all the comics, and like, or maybe the comics should just do it. Every comic puts in like $50, and whoever gets voted debate of the night gets the money. I just think that'd be fun. I like money. I think it'd be fun though. Or maybe that would get mean. Maybe that would get mean. Like I'm assuming I'm gonna win it or something. But
oh yeah, because everybody would think they had the debate of the night.
Yeah.
And then be like, well, I think we're pretty clear.
Yeah, I guess that's a bad idea because comics have
like,
too much.
What do you mean we weren't the debate of the night? You weren't even top 5.
Comics have too much. Yeah, we're too sensitive. We couldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, can I please see the voting tabulate?
Can we please have a recount of those 8 votes?
I love that because that's a normal thing in human, like, you know, if a kid gets cut from a hockey team or like, you know, a debater doesn't win the fucking $50, everybody wants to like look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Show me the data. Show me the raw data. And then you see, as if you're going to see it and go, oh, okay, like you lost.
Yeah.
So the numbers are going to probably indicate
that
something that you don't like.
Yeah.
They're going to be like 62 to 48. Wait a fucking second. How did I get less X Factor than Kathleen?
I'm full of X Factor.
You're all X Factor. That's the thing about Kathleen.
That's all I am. Just X Factor.
She's just a little sizzle.
I'm just a little sizzle.
She's just a little sizzle. She's all X Factor. There's no
and that's it.
Y or Z factors. There's no other factors.
Oh my God.
At least I don't have any X Factor.
You have X Factor.
Oh, you got that X Factor.
You got some of that X Factor.
That Factor X. Do we have any shows together coming up? I don't think we do.
I don't know if we do. I don't know what's happening anymore. What am I doing? My July is pretty empty, but like August, I'm pretty booked for August, September.
I'm going to San Diego.
Oh, why are you going to San Diego?
Just with my family.
Oh, are you going to go to Legoland?
I don't think so.
What are you going to do in San Diego?
There's a zoo.
Take them to the beach because
some beaches and fucking execute sea lions.
Execute sea lions?
No, not execute. Just slowly kill them with disease.
The zoo is really good in San Diego.
Is it really?
Yeah. It
You
is
been?
a good zoo. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were down there.
I went there with
You
my
did all the
mom.
touristy stuff.
Oh, yeah. I love California. Like, I love Disneyland. I love doing that kind of stuff. Like, it was fun.
Disneyland is like, I think, $200 a person, basically, now.
Yeah. And that's for, like, bare bones ticket. You don't get any...
Yeah, that's not for any rides.
Well, no, it's for rides, but you don't... Like, now, if you want to go, you want to buy those passes where you can jump lines and stuff. Because otherwise, you're standing in a line for an hour. So you literally spend an hour standing in line for one ride.
Good God.
But, yeah. It's crazy.
And then you hate the pass people.
Yeah.
You're like,
fuck
look at those
people.
fucking pass people.
I went on my birthday one year because when I was living down there the first time, and my mom came down, and it was my like 27th birthday or something like that. And you got in free that year on your birthday. So my mom was like, okay, well, let's go because you're getting free. And I got a big button that said, happy birthday, Kathleen. And every single employee, if they saw you, had to say, happy birthday, Kathleen. And I wanted to go on Splash Mountain, but my mom's like, I'm not going on Splash Mountain. Like, I'll die. Like, they'll give me a heart attack or something. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go. And like, because I was a single rider, if you go by yourself, you can cut the line too. Like, you can go in that line.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like at the front and then by myself, and the guy's like, happy birthday, Kathleen. This girl by herself at Disneyland on her birthday. It was pretty embarrassing, but I still... Yeah.
I'm a little girl.
Yeah. You know what is? Have you ever been to Disneyland?
No.
Not even as a kid. No. Like it's like it does make you feel like when you're an adult, it does make you feel like you're a little kid again when you're there. Like because I went like twice when I was a kid, and it's just. But Disney adults that are really into Disney are like that's
That's pathetic.
Relax.
It's pathetic.
You're really trying to hold on to this child inside of you. There's something going on.
Yeah, you're right. There probably are some wacky people that.
Oh, there are.
Like if you're a Disney employee, you're like, that bitch has been here 3 times this month.
Mm-hmm.
You know them by name.
Oh, they probably hate them. Because when I worked at Fort Edmonton Park,
how can you afford,
we had regulars.
It would make you angry. Like, how can you afford to be here all the time?
Oh, they probably buy a year pass, which is it's the same as buying a ski pass in Canada. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, no, they're every day. We had people at Fort Edmonton Park that would be regulars, and I'm like, they're the worst.
Because they're the ones like, well, last time you said that Dr. Buchanan, like, shut the fuck up. Are you pointing out inconsistencies in my fucking scripted story, you piece of shit?
We had a guy that would come.
I don't know, because last time I was here, you said that same thing, and I Googled it when I got home, and it was 1786 that happened. Just wanted to point that out for all these people here. Like,
You're
Sarah
an
doesn't
idiot.
fucking matter that I was a year off.
There would be people that would like know the food schedules because, like, you know, you go to those places, sometimes they give you food. So like we would make soup. At one point we'd bake bread, and then at the native camp they would make bannock. And this one guy would come. He'd bring his own fucking cup, and he'd be there right for the soup.
This fucking double Slurpee mug thing.
Yeah, like
double
it was
gulp.
so weird. It was so weird.
I'm trying to think of a place I go to all the time that I shouldn't be. Maybe like the hockey rink where it's like.
But you should.
But then I'm there for my kid.
Yeah,
I don't really.
You're not just hanging out because you don't know. If you were just some weird dude hanging out at the hockey rink, that's weird.
That is strange.
I've seen people. I always find it weird, but then I guess they're there to get. Maybe they can't have a dog. But when people are at a dog park without a dog, also dogs think they're weird. Like they're like, "What? Why are you here? Where's your dog?"
That's you putting it on them.
No,
that person doesn't. How does the dog know that person doesn't have a dog?
Because they see that they're just walking without a dog.
Yeah, but don't they know it's an off-leash park, so the dog could be somewhere else?
But usually, if you're walking there, your dog will be near you. It is weird when people, but then I'm like, I get people probably just want a dog or they can't have one, so they just like come down and get. Because every time I go to the dog park, I am happy when I leave. It's the best. It is the best.
That's
like
where Connor McDavid goes to one, right?
Yeah, we walked past him once, and he's like, Eugene had this giant stick in his mouth. He's like, "That's a big stick," and I was like, "Yes." I didn't know it was him until I walked by because I recognized his dog. Because I knew what his dog looked like from some like celebrity dog calendar.
That's hilarious that you didn't recognize Connor McDavid until you saw Connor McDavid's dog.
Well, and then I saw this hot blonde. I'm with this guy, and I'm like, who the fuck? Why is he with her? And then I Googled the dog. I'm like, oh, that was Connor McDavid.
Oh,
like she is like gorgeous, and like next to him, it's like he's average. He's not like Ryan Smith gross, but he is like he's average.
He's not Ryan Smith gross.
Well, I always thought Ryan Smith was like so.
Yeah, he wasn't a hottie.
Yeah.
And he also was like a very Christian dude whose favorite movie was a cartoon. I remember reading a profile on Ryan Smith, and I was like, I have way less respect for this guy now.
What was his favorite movie?
I don't remember, but it was a fucking. It wasn't even like a funny cartoon. It was just. I was just like, it's a cartoon.
Heavy metal.
I don't know. I'm like, your favorite movie is a fucking cartoon. It wasn't like Team America or something cool. It was like. Just a fucking dumb like
Aladdin?
Lilo and Stitch or something.
Really?
So he's like a very Christian. He's like the most important thing to me is my faith. Like, oh boy.
Oh, I hate that.
One of these guys who's the most, and then his favorite movie was a cartoon, and I'm like, this guy sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
Fucking hate you, Ryan Smith.
Yeah, and we haven't talked since the Oilers lost. I got really into the playoffs because I can't get into like regular season because I get angry. Like
the stakes aren't high enough.
Angry, so it just stresses me out too long. So then I'm in the playoffs and I was having a great time, but it was sad when we lost.
Until you weren't.
But also, I was so happy we beat Calgary. Like that was like that was better than winning the Stanley Cup. I think. Like honestly,
that is
to God,
yeah.
For
it
us,
absolutely nails it down because Calgary is just like.
They're so cocky.
Yeah, they just think like, okay, we should be able to breeze through these guys. I wonder how we're gonna do against Colorado. Like, and every expert picked them.
Yeah.
So and then they won the first game.
Hard, like
scored a lot of goals, and then they were up 2-0 in the second game. So from a Flames fan perspective, it's as horrible as it possibly could have been.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it so great for us.
Oh yeah.
Because it couldn't have been more painful for them. When you win the first game and you score 9 goals and then you're up 2-0 in the first period of game 2 in a best-of-7 series, you're thinking, we got this.
Yeah.
this is ours.
Yeah.
All we have to do is not get in our own way. We'll be fine. And then you lose.
Yeah, it was
and
so
it's
good.
over.
It
It's
was
just
so
fucking
good.
fantastic.
And I had a bet with Brittany Lysing because we were working in Kelowna when the series started. And so we bet like whoever loses has to wear their team jersey, like the other person's team jersey on stage that weekend. And she lost, and she was headlining Yuck Yucks Calgary that weekend. Mwah! It was mwah! It was meant to be.
So
like,
she had to wear it on like,
Yeah.
what night?
On we said the whole weekend, but I said just one. So she wore it on Friday night. And good, like honestly, Brittany Lysing, I'm so proud of you because that would have been hard to do.
That's a tough thing to do.
That would have been hard to do. And I guess some people like she got booed, and then some lady heckled her about it, and then she's like,
she would have explained right away.
No, yes, of course, yeah.
I don't want to wear
No.
this fucking piece of shit.
But I think it was so funny. It was so great. Like, and if I had won, or if they had won, I would have had to wear a Flames jersey in Toronto. But who cares? Like, I don't care.
Yeah, that wouldn't have mattered.
But the fact that she was headlining Calgary
Oh.
Yuck Yucks, it was so
Oof.
beautiful.
Like,
it was so satisfying.
I would have been like, by this stage, and then no, I'll put it on. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't have put it on. I wouldn't have worn it all day. Wouldn't
Yeah.
have got it in the green room.
Yeah.
I just can't picture myself in a Flames.
Oh
jersey.
no, it's disgusting.
It makes me sick.
Yeah, I would vomit on it.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's gross.
Such horrible
Well, and
jerseys and people.
I was talking so much shit online because it was fun. It was fun talking shit. And then one of my friends is like a Flames fan. He's like, when you guys lose, you're gonna have to take it too. And I'm like, okay, fine, that's fine. And then like we won, and then he was like, oh well, I mean, I like having to do it. it was so good.
And they're like, yeah, it was not so bad. Well, I mean, I was already preparing. When we got down 2-0 in game 2, I was already preparing for like a social, like how do I handle this?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be able to just watch this.
No.
I'm not going to be able to just watch the Oilers get rolled over by the
No,
Flames.
it would be painful.
So I'm not going to be able to watch the games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to go on social media and see people like laughing about
Yeah.
it. So I'm like, I'm going to, like, I went from thinking I'm going to watch this series intently and be
Yeah.
to thinking like, what's my exit strategy like after game 2? I'll watch this. But then when we lose this game, how do I not watch I can't watch the rest of this. I cannot watch the Flames beat us. I'm too much of a coward to even watch it.
It's just like, it is a thing of like Calgary, like it's just, they get one thing and then they like hold it over you for years. So now we can just hold this over them for years.
They're so cocky. Like if
They really think they're
the
the
Flames
best.
if the Flames had McDavid and Draisaitl, I'd be like, I don't know if we can beat the fucking Flames. But
Yeah.
the Flames fans, it was like, how can you be this like we have McDavid and Draisaitl, and you're like, should be able to roll over these fuckers in 5.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Avs, that'll be a test. Like, but they weren't really preparing to even be tested until the Avs. They just thought like, okay, we got past the Stars. They had some crazy goalie, and then the Flames also like crafted 2 narratives that were kind of, like, we're way better than Dallas, but their goalie was crazy good.
Yeah.
And then like, we should have beaten Edmonton, but Connor McDavid was crazy good. Like, that's hockey, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, they're better than
That's
you.
fucking hockey. Like, one person, whether it's a goalie, a defenseman, a forward, has a great series.
Yeah.
And takes you down.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were acting like, well, if they didn't have that one guy, like if Dallas didn't have that goalie, if the Oilers didn't have McDavid, then we would have won. Like, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. What do you mean? Like, if their goalie wasn't playing really well, we would have beaten Dallas. Or if Connor McDavid wasn't as good, we would have beaten Edmonton. Like, yeah, but they're not.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if we lost to Calgary, be like, well, if you guys didn't have Markstrom, like, yeah, but we do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it just, that's such a dumb fucking argument. But they threw it out there the whole time.
Yeah.
They wanted the narrative to, and then even that narrative got exploded. Because it was like, well, we're getting beat by one player.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's it. We're better than them as a team, but they've got this one like crazy supernatural talent, and he's kind of upending the apple cart. And then at the end of the series, it's like, well, wait a second. Draisaitl had 17 fucking points.
Yeah.
And I mean, it looks like so that was the dumbest thing they could have done. I don't understand it. In any series, you never want to give any bulletin board material to the opponent. You never want to give them any extra motivation, ever. So for them to come out and say, like, well, we're basically losing to one guy, like, now every other fucking player elevated their game.
Well, it's like when they said to Vander Kane, like, oh, you want some money? Like, they did that to him. And the next game, he comes and gets a hat trick because he's so fucking pissed off.
And
they're so stupid. That's what always fucks Calgary up. They are so, the entire, like, vibe of Calgary is cocky. Like, we think we're better than everybody else in this country. Like, they're like quiet Toronto. Like, they're just so fucking great. But when it comes time to back up this thing, they can never do it.
And when they lose, they have an excuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys have McDavid. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, we're a better team. Like, well, you're not because we have McDavid. So that makes you not the better team. Like, well, no, we're the better team. You just have one, but he's on our team.
Yeah.
So then we're a better team. No, we're a better team. Like, no, you're not. You lost in 5 fucking games. Like, I didn't argue too much with Flames people because I knew that, like, if we had lost, I wouldn't want anybody shitting on me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to shit on, you know, Flames fans.
I did. I quite. I was like, well,
you're allowed to because you're not like you're like
I have no game.
Yeah, you're like I tune in and I tune out.
Yeah.
To the Oilers. So like I don't owe anybody anything.
It's not the like I literally could care less if they won the cup. I just wanted them to beat Calgary. That's the only reason why I was watching that series because I'm like they have to beat Calgary. It would have been nice if they had not been swept in the next one, and that was a little embarrassing. But whatever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to a team that's just a lot better than them, but
yeah. But
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, it was so. Oh, it was fun being excited about something for a couple of weeks.
And what about Adam? Was he into it as well?
He got into it. Yeah, he was very into it, and he's like.
He's a Canucks guy.
Yeah, and I kept on like texting his dad. I'm like, how's your team doing? Because he loves Canucks, and then he would be all like, he would come back at me all the time. I'm like, Bill, your team hasn't been in the playoffs in a million years.
Oh, you guys had 4 first overall picks in 7 fucking years.
I know.
Like,
I love sports fans. They're so crazy. Like, I don't know if you're on Twitter a lot, but there's like account for Burger Baron, like the restaurant. And he just shit talks on it. Like it's such a rude account. It's so funny.
The fuck that is.
He had a hashtag eat shit Calgary. It was so I thought it was so funny. Yeah, my friend that was mad at me for shit talking, he's like, why are you being so aggressive about like I don't like you actually hate Calgary? I'm like, no, I don't hate Calgary. You guys are cocky. Like you guys are that person. Like you think that you're just like so grand, but you're just another city.
And they're a better city than us, but only because of the proximity to the mountains.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like if Edmonton, if Jasper was
right there,
45 minutes away from Edmonton, we tied with So Calgary's not better. It's just the proximity.
Location, yeah.
Their proximity to a nicer place makes them a more desirable place than Edmonton.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That is it.
And they think it's way more than that.
Yeah.
They think it's like the people.
Oh, and that's the worst part of Calgary.
That's the worst part of Toronto.
Yes.
Where it's like the people is what Vancouver's like that too. Where it's like we're a part of the whatever, the majestic nature of the. No, you're not. You could be replaced. You could all be fucking airlifted out of here and replaced with the city of Fort McMurray, the population of Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
Still be Vancouver still be great.
Yeah.
There's no vibe that you bring to it as a person.
No.
It's just a beautiful city that you happen to fucking live in.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Calgary, Toronto, Vancouver, they do have that attitude of like, I am personally a part of what makes this place special. Yeah. No, you're not. Those are the 3 cities where they'll always say when you're from Edmonton, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you're such a loser. Anybody that says that, full on loser. Yeah. Like, they're like waiting for you. The joke is already like in their head. Yeah, I can't wait. I hope they're from a place that's not great. Yeah. Where are you from? Edmonton. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. Like every time someone has said that, I have even said to people, I'm like, you're an idiot. Like you're a loser. Like that's the lamest joke ever. I don't think we missed out. I mean, did we miss out on anything being from Edmonton? No. I mean, Edmonton over the years. There's no Disneyland here. Like, we have K-Days. K-Days is as close as we get. We have Fantasyland at West End Mall. You talking about? We have a water slides park indoors. I like your defense of Edmonton. You're like, what are you fucking talking about? We got a Galaxy Quest. I have to be defensive because people are like so shitty, and it's always people that have not been here ever. Like, they've never even been here. And then so when they're like, oh, I've heard Edmonton's pretty shitty. I'm like, it's pretty good if you know about Edmonton. But we don't like to tell people from outside of Edmonton where the good shit is because we don't want you there. Because the punchline is Alberta is racist, right? Which is the same as like how... Which is funny because Edmonton is the most liberal city out of the province. But it's sort of like if you were like a liberal in Texas. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, Texas. You know, and then you'd be like, hey, actually there's There's Austin.
Yeah.
There's like, this isn't all like, fuck, you know, there are some progressive.
Yeah. Well, they say like Edmonton's the Austin of Canada and Calgary's the Dallas of Canada, sort of like thing.
I don't think Calgary would like that because they would like to think of themselves as hip and cool.
They're not even cool. They want to be so cool so bad. It's
how many comedy
painful.
clubs do you think there are in Texas? Like fucking 200?
Probably. You could probably just tour around Texas for the rest of your career.
Yeah, because I looked online at the clubs in San Diego and Anaheim.
Yeah.
Not that I was going to go to any shows. I was just like, for some reason, like I'm like, well, I'm interested to see how many comedy clubs they have.
Yeah.
And they each had like 5.
They had San Diego is the Comedy Store in La Jolla, which is just outside of San Diego, but I don't know. Like, do they have an improv there? Probably.
Well, I could tell from being in comedy, like I could click on their upcoming events calendar and see like A club, B club, C club.
Yeah.
But the average tourist, and it like reminds you that the average tourist, like I'm the average tourist in every other walk of life but comedy.
Yeah.
If I was a non-comedian, I would never be able to make sense of this list. Like it'd be like you go on there and everything's rated 4.2 or 4.4. And the A club has the lowest rating.
Why?
And just because like they're a target. So people would put bad reviews on, like the D club would put, you know, if you're the D club, what are you going to do? You're going to hit the top 2 clubs with negative reviews, get their rating down. And it made me realize like what a whore I am for that. Like I go online and I'm like, let's Google this thing that I might do, and then I'll look at the reviews.
I
and then
love looking up Google reviews.
I will trust the reviews. I will trust the star system.
Don't
and
trust
it's
it
like,
ever.
Why was I doing that?
Yeah, I love Google reviews. Like I love even like I did a TikTok about it. I'm like the first thing I do when I get into a hotel room, I like Google all the restaurants around me and I read their menus for hours. I'll just read a menu and like not like I'm even gonna go there, but I'm like I love reading menus.
Ooh, I could go there.
And you know where the best Google reviews are? Strip clubs. I found that out in Niagara Falls because we were maybe gonna go to a strip club, and so I was Googling them, and then I'm like, oh my god, they have reviews, and they were like, dancers are unprofessional, like hilarious. And you'll go to look up.
Some of these girls look like they might have been on the
Yes,
ganja.
yes. Like don't look at Google all the 1-star reviews on there.
These girls were unprofessional.
It was so funny. It was
some of them appeared to be, some of the dancers appeared to be intoxicated.
I feel like I might have even screenshotted some. I don't even know if I could find one in a good time, but I was laughing so hard when I was reading these. They were very funny. I'm gonna look up my screenshots.
I like reading ones of comedy clubs.
Yeah.
And then you try to figure out who the comedian was, because nobody, I mean, that's one of the great things of the anonymity of being a Canadian stand-up is like, even if somebody leaves you a horrible review, they don't leave your name.
Yeah.
They just say, the second comedian was an abomination. The first one was okay. The third one, I don't, like, it's just you're the first, the second, or the third.
Yeah, and then you just hope that
So the club wears it. The club wears all the bad reviews.
Yeah.
There was some bad ones for the Yuck Yucks in Edmonton, and it was pretty funny because it's like 1 star, and then like this show sucked, and then you read it, and then it's like you didn't like the food. Like they're like, the comedians were pretty good, the comedy show was good, but the chicken was dry as a bone.
It was
and
disgusting.
But they leave a 1-star review and say like this show sucked, and then the explanation is that the food wasn't good, which is the casino.
It wasn't there. I
Couldn't find them.
I'll have one for next week. I'll go find some for next week because they're really funny. Like it's just men getting mad. These strippers are gonna rob you. Like,
These strippers.
that's my favorite when men are like, I got robbed by a stripper. I'm like, oh.
I gave her $100 and I thought she'd want to have sex with me for free later.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure she was aroused. Turns out the whole thing was a ruse. Yeah, I watched there was like a 2-hour thing on crypto. This guy named Dan Olson from Calgary. Yeah. Who is like a software guy or whatever. And he hates NFTs and he hates crypto.
I don't understand. I've tried to read and I cannot understand them. I don't understand it.
Well, before I watched this documentary, I didn't realize like how, kind of grifty the whole thing is. Because NFTs were just created to give you something to do with your crypto.
Okay.
So like NFTs are nothing. They're not even like he's like they don't even like have they're not even protected links. So it's not like there's no privacy. There's no security. Anybody can take it. Anybody can just right click on it and steal the image. And it doesn't protect against link rot. So your link degrades over time just as quickly as if somebody like right clicked on, like just took a screenshot of the image. Like, it's so crazy. And then the people that have paid big money for NFTs to kind of try to create interest, like, oh my God, do you see that monkey that somebody
Justin
paid
Bieber,
88?
yeah.
Like, oh, that guy paid 88 million. They're usually people with their own crypto community that have their own coins and tokens, and they're trying to generate interest for themselves. So they'll spend 88 million. The value of their token or coin or whatever goes up. People try to enter their community. It's a pump and dump scheme. So they just like, hey, we've just increased the value speculatively of our product because there's no real world application for our product. But people know that we were the ones that spent 88 million, so we must be a fucking cool little. So, and yeah, crypto, he just made it sound like it's not workable because, I think the one point he made that was really good is he said, yeah, let's say it's worth $20,000 now for one Bitcoin, and Bitcoin wins. It's the winner. So 20 years from now, everybody needs to possess Bitcoin in order to sort of function in the world because Bitcoin has taken over the fiat system. If that were to happen, then when one Bitcoin will be worth $250,000, $300,000, like because now the value is so high. But now any kid, like my kid, whoever's kids, anybody's kids that needs Bitcoin, has to spend like real dollars to get Bitcoin converted into Bitcoin, and they'll have to enter the marketplace in debt.
Yeah.
Like the only way that if you're 5 years old today, Bitcoin is the winner. At 18, you need Bitcoin to move out, to live, to fucking do whatever. Then like, okay, I need to spend 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 like Canadian dollars
to get
like a sliver of Bitcoin. I need to get like a line of credit and go into debt to purchase enough Bitcoin to live. And the real world value of that Bitcoin, because I've told this to people and they're like, well, whatever, like, 20,000 is 20,000. It's like, no, 20,000 is not 20. If you need to spend 20,000 Canadian dollars to get a sliver of Bitcoin because you need Bitcoin to make purchases, then the actual dollar value of the Bitcoin you're buying is way less than the $20,000 because the winners are the people who bought in early. Yeah. Everybody else is fucked.
Yeah.
And that's the system that crypto people want.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're advocating for, is a system where they are declared the gigantic winner at the end.
Yeah.
Because they didn't care about what happened in 2008. They just want to be the winners this time.
Yeah.
Like I want to win. So if you try to explain to them like what happens in 20 years when the value of Bitcoin is crazy high and then people have to get that Bitcoin but they didn't own any before. Yeah. And they're like, well, that's fantastic because that's how I get fucking rich.
Ugh.
So it will never work.
How long do you think we're gonna have like cash for? Like, I think the cash is gonna go away in our lifetime. Because I thought it was gonna go away because of COVID. Because it's so dirty and everybody just taps.
It sort of did go away.
Yeah.
Like if I go in,
I never have cash on me anymore.
If I try to buy something with cash,
they look weird.
People are like,
ew.
Let me go get my currency tongs.
Currency tongs.
Like they grab it like, ew. Like I just gave them a fucking dirty diaper.
It is funny when you try and pay with cash. People are like, what the fuck?
Drop it in the
this?
till.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, no, they don't. I mean, they're, like that Dan Olson guy talks about, there will be a digital currency and it will sort of probably overtake like hard currency, but it'll be boring.
Yeah.
It'll be so boring. That's why crypto doesn't work, because it's either an investment that's volatile, and that's what makes it exciting, is like what you check your Bitcoin price. But if you wanted to actually use digital currency as money, you wouldn't want to, it couldn't be the same thing where you're checking the price and going, what's it worth today? Like it would have to be the most boring thing ever, where you don't even think about it. You're just like, how many Bitcoin do I have? Fucking whatever. Like, so it can't work both ways. So there will be a digital currency, but we won't really even talk about it very much because it'll be boring as shit. It'll just be like,
this is already boring. I don't understand any of it. I don't want to, I don't like the future.
Or the past.
Me. It all scares me.
I don't like the future, past, or present. I can't think of a favorite tense.
I can't. I don't have a favorite
What is
tense.
your favorite tense?
None.
The future's scary. The
future's
past was awful and already happened.
Yeah.
It can't be fixed.
And the present sucks.
Is a combination of reflecting on those two things.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my banter question. It's like, Kathleen, is it true that you missed the lockdown? I was like, yeah, I miss being able to watch Netflix all day and do nothing and not feel bad about it. I miss that. I literally miss it. It was too nice. I enjoyed myself too much.
The lockdown was basically 2 years of rain. Right?
Yeah.
So there's
No,
people
but
that,
I mean the
really-
lockdown where we were locked in. I loved that when we were in and you couldn't go. You like I would go drive around by myself around the empty city. It was so fun. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Gas was like 20 cents a liter. Like it was. That was our utopia. When you didn't have to go and do stupid plans with people and you just got to stay at home and watch whatever you wanted to watch and not feel stressed about like, oh,
Yeah.
I should be doing this show. I should be doing this. Like you got
Right.
to just breathe and have
Yeah.
like,
Because you have like little micro jealousies, right? Where you're like looking at stuff
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck, I don't, not that I want to do more comedy, but sometimes you're like, oh, I've never been asked to do that. Or,
yeah.
And that was gone,
Yeah.
right? Like, because
'Cause
nobody was doing anything.
Nothing.
So you were never like thinking I should be doing more or
Yeah.
looking online and going, hey, nobody's ever, because nobody was doing anything.
Nobody's
so it
doing
was just
anything.
like comedy.
Except for online shows and they were terrible.
Yeah, and nobody was jealous of that.
Nobody was
Like,
jealous
if
of
a
the
comedian
online
came
shows.
online, like, I just did 4 online shows. You were like,
Congratulations, you weirdo.
Or like, I just did 3 backyard shows, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm not jealous of that.
I think every year we should get a month off where everyone is told to stay inside and everything locks down.
Well, there's a lot more talk of 4-day work weeks.
Yeah. And a lot more talk about like people just working from home. Like it and there's so many people now that quit their jobs because they're like, you have to come back to the office. They're like, no thanks. And then they just go find a remote job. So many more people are quitting their jobs because it's like, it's not worth it for
Well, how
them.
many I mean, I'm such an old fogey that I'm like, I guess everybody's coding now. Like, that's what everybody does is just codes.
What? Like,
Coding jobs.
Oh.
Where it's like you just stay at home and I'm a coder. I live anywhere. I make whatever, 70 grand a year. Like, I saw some stat in the States that was like, there's a new middle class. You know, we think there's no middle class, but there's like a new middle class of people that make between $80,000 and $120,000 a year at home coding.
yeah.
Like, that's the new thing that, so it's like, oh, it's hard to find people to do this job. It's because they all work at home doing some fucking wacky. I don't even know what coding is.
Isn't it writing programs and stuff?
I guess so, but I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either.
Like, that would be my next line is like, well, you're just writing programs. But if somebody said like, what is writing a program? It'd be like, I have no fucking idea.
10101.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
As close as I can come to it is I remember I used to, in the beginning of video games, this is like such an old man story,
Yeah.
but I think it was like the Commodore VIC-20 was my introduction to video games.
Yeah.
It's like a keyboard, monitor, whatever, but in order to play a game, like you wouldn't have physical games. You'd have to write the code in for the game
Yeah.
to play it. So it'd be like 2 pages of code, and I'd have to just type it into the screen.
Oh my God.
And I'd have to, okay, look at that. And then it would just be just massive amounts of text, different digits, numbers. And then at the end, I would press the button enter, and then it would say syntax error, which basically just meant you have made one mistake.
And we don't know where it is.
We can't tell you where it is. And then you'd have to you couldn't even just like paste and then
Yeah.
delete. You had to like manually, sadly,
Oh my
fucking
God.
delete all the way up and then start from scratch.
Oh my God.
And then the game that you got to play was like a little airplane,
yeah.
and you pressed the button and went like it went up in the air, and then you would like just shoot things.
We had a computer, but like we had like those floppy disks with it. So it would be like, oh, to continue the game, put in disk B. To continue the game, put in, like it's crazy.
They were bad games too. For
They
the
were
most
bad.
part. The
Oregon
early
Trail
ones
though
were
was
terrible.
very fun. Did you get to play Oregon Trail or Cross Country Canada or something? It was
I
like a
liked
truck
Moon
one.
I like Moon Patrol and River Raid.
River Raid.
Yeah, where you had to go like you were on a river, you're going up and you were shooting boats, you were in an airplane, but you couldn't like hit the walls. So you just, I don't know. That was kind of fun.
That's crazy. We
But it
are
was all
so
we had.
old.
Yeah, I mean, how old are you now?
41.
41, I'm 44.
Oh my God. You might die first.
I will die first. I have way more problems.
You don't have more problems. I'm on way more pills than you are.
They're not going to kill you, though. They'll kill me. I take pills that aren't even prescribed to me. Somebody else's name is on the bottle. It was basically like, here, take these forever, because it's another person. Like when I die, and that they're gonna be like, how long was he taking your pills?
Yeah.
I don't know, 9 years. He never thought of going and seeing if it was right for him.
Going to see a doctor and getting a prescription so that he can be free.
Well, I went to like an ADHD. I did the specialist thing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh yeah, you have ADHD, and here's we'll write up a prescription." But the clinic doesn't prescribe that.
You have to go to a doctor.
No, they sent me to the specialist. So the clinic sent me to the specialist. And I was like, okay, apparently I do have ADHD. And they're like, oh, cool. We don't prescribe that here. And I'm like, but that was the outcome that was always in the cards. Why did you send me to the specialist? And they're like, oh, you'd have to go to a different doctor.
That's so weird, because when I got diagnosed, the guy wrote me a prescription that day. I went and got my pills that day. Yeah,
he told me like, oh, we'll tell your doctor, and then he'll prescribe it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, nope, we don't prescribe that here.
What?
We don't fucking you meth head fuck.
Oh my God, go to a different doctor.
Yeah, I'm just tired. I'm tired of doctors. I'm just tired of them.
Yeah, I know. They're
$35 a pop. They try to get you out of there in 10 minutes. They don't even realize like Western medicine's focus on money is what allows homeopathy to function.
Yeah.
Because you get to go in there for like, you don't even have to be a doctor, obviously. And you just pontificate for 45 minutes and they listen.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I feel listened to.
Yeah.
I feel better just being listened to.
And then they give you some sort of solution at the end.
Yeah, and they give you a memory pill.
Yeah.
And then you take it and you feel better. And then you go back the next time and you're listened to again.
Yeah.
Whereas a doctor's like, here's a real solution, but get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't, And people do shit on doctors too much where they're like, well, they're just drug pushers there. And it's like, they're drug pushers because we don't change any other part of our life.
Yeah.
That's why they're drug pushers.
Yeah.
They're not drug pushers because they like to push the drugs.
No, if you get diagnosed with diabetes and then you work out and you lose weight and you eat better, you can get rid of it.
Yeah, but they also have to give you the prescriptions because they know you're probably not going to fucking do it.
Yeah, because most people will not do that.
No.
Most people, and pills fix stuff nicely.
Diabetes is usually the one where people do make changes. That's the one where people are like, okay, I better fucking...
Well, it's so cute. It's always like I was at a gas station and there was like this older dude and he goes, he said, they're always like, do you want some chocolate bars 2 for $5? Like they always, and he goes, oh, no. My sugars have been so good lately. Once in a while I'll have some, but
and then he's like, yeah, I like looking at your sugars. And you're like, oh boy, language roadblock. I guess sugars means breasts in his homeland. Yeah, they've really turned all those people into like front end salespeople, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like now you get asked a million, like it's just nonstop everywhere. Even at McDonald's, you want a blueberry pie? Like, did I fucking say?
Oh yeah, upsell. That's like
hey, do you want our lowest volume item? No.
Yeah.
Blueberry pie.
I hate that. That's how they start the thing too. Hi, would you like to try our? I'm like, no.
Did you have the app? Nope. Do you want a blueberry pie? Nope. I just want this. And they're like, okay, but can I interest you in it? No. Like it used to be just an upsize.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how about a large?
Yeah.
Like I was okay with upsizing.
Yeah.
Like I go in there and I've ordered something and you try to get me a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Like the bigger version of what I said. Like if I order a blueberry pie and you go, you want a big old blueberry pie? Like I'm like, give me the biggest. Then that's okay. But it's like, I didn't even fucking say blueberry.
And trust me, like I've done jobs where you do have to upsell at the end of calls or something. And I know that like nobody likes doing it. The people don't want to do it. But like sometimes they're probably giving them an incentive. Like they probably get like 25 cents every time you sell a pie to somebody. But it's so stupid. And when I worked for Toys R Us, they made us like pitch at this warranty on every product. Like just buy this warranty for this toy. It's like $5. And if it breaks, you just send in something and you get a gift card to get it. Yeah. So, and I literally was like listening to them and I said, so people could just go buy a toy, break it, and get a gift card for it. And they're like, yep, if you have the warranty. So that's how I tried to sell it. But then after a while, I'm like, I'm not making anything out of this. Like we didn't get any like 25 cents thing. It was just like, you had to ask. And I was like, I'm not asking this anymore. Like I don't have to. I don't benefit from this at all.
You're going to have to cut me in. I wouldn't be
If
surprised,
I'm going to be a salesperson, it's called commission.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those companies, whether it's McDonald's or 7-Eleven or whatever, their incentive program is once in a while we're going to send somebody in.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask the questions, you're fired.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
That's our incentive program.
Yeah.
You're fired if you don't do it. Because
Yeah.
you're never going to know who's in here, like, and then you don't do the preamble of, like, here's the cookies. Like, now 7-Eleven is this fucking, like, forest of shit up front where it's, like, just everything. And they're like, oh, can I interest you? You can't even fucking, you have to look over the cookies.
Yeah.
They're like, why don't you take some of these cookies? They're on sale.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's too much. It's like, stop. These companies need to stop telling. It's all because they're so fucking profit driven.
Well, and it's like, why does they're like, why are we losing so bad to the internet? And it's like, well, the internet's like fucking popping up. And then they're like, we need to take some of that internet juice and put it into real life.
Yeah.
So they've taken all that internet juice where we click on something, we click on it, and then we get 9 fucking ads for adjacent products.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to take some of that internet and put it right in the front of our stores.
Yeah.
Do you want a blueberry pie? Do you want a fucking no? And then we deal with it just like we deal with the internet. No, X.
Companies are getting too nosy. Like I get my drugs at Shoppers Drug Mart, and I'm moving them because it is like they are so intrusive. Like every time I come in, they're like, "How are these sad pills doing for you?" Like so
sad
loud.
pills.
No, I'm just paraphrasing. No. But
or are you still boohooing every night?
But they
you
do
still cry
ask, or they're like, "How is this going for you?" I'm like, "I'll talk to my doctor about it. I'm not talking to some pharmacy tech. Like, what is this 18-year-old kid gonna?"
Is this the first time you've taken it? Like,
yes.
I've been on pills my whole fucking life.
And I'm like, also, shouldn't you know that? My prescription has been here for 3 years. Like, shouldn't you know that?
They want to explain it to you.
I hate it. And then, like, every 6 months, can we talk to you for 5 minutes about all your pills? I'm like, no, I talked to my doctor about this shit. Leave me alone.
Yeah, you give me the fucking drug.
I literally get mad. And I've even said, can you put somewhere in my file that I don't want to discuss my health with you guys? Like, why do you think nobody wants to do that?
Well, they want to pretend they're more than a pusher of drugs.
Oh, they want to pretend that they're being like helpful and stuff, but it's intrusive and it's like rude. I find it because there's people around and they're asking you all about your medical history.
There's an old woman behind you and like, well, Butrin, what's that? Is that for pussies?
Yeah. No, that's my herpes medication.
Oh, good heavens.
It's just ridiculous.
It's my herpes medication.
Well,
it just works in lowering my sex drive so I don't give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can do for herpes except make you want to not fuck anybody.
That's a good strategy. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing your own podcast again.
Yeah, we did it again. I guess we're doing them again. I don't know.
Well, I guess we're doing them again. Well, I mean, the people were demanding it.
One person really asked. One person.
I didn't have anybody, but that's fine. I mean, it's still fun to do.
As long as one person does it.
As long as one person.
Wasn't I with you, Jim? Somebody said something. Maybe? I don't know. So many different people that could have possibly said it, but there you go. There's your shout out, Curtis.
There's one guy who asked for it, and you're like, what was his name? I forget. Kurt. I believe it was a Curtis.
I don't remember who it was, but it's enough to keep us going.
Yeah, that's all. It doesn't take us. We're the fucking.
When we're not on the road and
podcasting camels.
Yeah.
We just keep fucking making podcasts and trudging through the sand with our master's water on our backs.
What dead baby animal did we see dead on the road coming home? Oh, it was dead baby fox. That was really sad.
They're cuter, I think, when they're dead.
They're really cute. Eugene looks like a fox.
Oh, I saw some bears on a golf course with Kent.
Bears?
Live bears. It was like a mama bear and 2 little baby brown bears.
Oh, cute.
And they were like walking. They were literally like maybe like to the vitamin waters away.
Yeah.
So maybe 20 feet or something. And we were like, holy shit, there's bears. And then the mama bear and the 2 baby bears like stopped and looked at us for a second. And we were like,
hi.
Whoa. Like they just stopped and they're like, what? You guys got a fucking problem? And then they just turned and then just all walked off. But I don't know. I guess you're not, like Kent was saying, like, no, you don't have to be afraid of brown bears.
Yeah. Or
like
black
grizzlies.
bears.
Grizzlies will kill? Would they just automatically kill you?
Well, I think it depends on if they're hungry, honestly, and if they look at you and you're like, I'd like to eat that.
I wouldn't want to be killed by a grizzly because I've seen how they do it. You know, like I saw a video of I saw a video of like a bear that just like grabbed a moose and then pulled it down and then just ate it like it was a TV dinner.
Oh my God.
So the moose is struggling and the bear is just like sitting on his ass on grass, holding the moose by its neck, and then once in a while like lifting its hind end up, taking a bite out of it, putting it back down, and then like it was watching TV.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's how I would die. Like if it got me, that's how slow it would be.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and then he just pulls me up and takes a bite out of me and then puts me back down, and I'm still like, how many bites?
Oh, how many bites does it take to get to the center of your human? I saw a video of like two bears fucking on the side of the road. This person's like filming them. You dirty pigs, you dirty pigs. It was so funny. Get a room, you two bears.
You sickos. Typical brown bear behavior.
Right on top of each other.
Oh, well.
All right.
Thanks for being on your podcast.
Thank you for having me.